Well. Good Monday evening, folks. What the hell just happened? We went from like 10 to 6. 4 people got shut out. Maybe YouTube is doing some bad stuff. But we got the normal people in the chat, it seems like, with a couple additions. We got Adrian, Scott K. Welcome. Arrows in the house. Jason. Mr. Baggins is around for who? None other than Mr. Michael Herman's set. Every time you do a set, if nothing else, Michael, I enjoy your thumbnails. It's always a wonderful thing to have a nice thumbnail like that. And it's not even my choice. It's your choice. So, all right. They don't want your set? Uh-oh. Well, I haven't even looked at what your set is, but we're going to have to find out. I'm guessing there's going to be some Mark Bonilla in here. Maybe some Rush, I would guess. But who knows? Might be surprised, and we'll have to get in to see what you got. We got Sasha in the house as well, which is nice. For all of those that have not heard yet from the Discord, if you're not kind of perusing on Discord, which is a shame on you for not doing so, Caligula's Horse has announced that they are finally doing a tour in the United States, and they are with none other than... who? Somebody in the chat tell everybody else who is going to open for them. I'm very happy because this band I have already seen when they came to Columbus with Vola. And so it's going to be a double deuce band, and I can't wait for it. Caligula's Horse single off their new album, one of their singles, has been turned in by Para. I just got to find when I'm going to actually do it and react to it, but it should be coming up in the next couple of weeks, that's for sure. So yes, it is Earthside. Earthside is opening up for Caligula's Horse this time. Where I saw them, they were opening up for they were opening up for Vola. So Vola, interesting when they came. One thing that I did say that I didn't like, I wouldn't say I didn't like it. I just think that at some point Earthside needs to choose a singer and just go with it. Because one of the things that did take away from the concert was that they had a TV behind them that was playing all the individual artists, singers that kind of contributed to their music. And of course, my favorite song is Dream and Static, or Static and Dream. I can't remember which is it. Dream and Static, I think. Who has just Daniel? Is it Daniel Tompkins? I think is what it is. I always used to get it mixed up with Hyman, but it's Daniel Tompkins' voice. And I legitimately cried in the concert when I heard him singing that, even though it was on a TV and it was just coming through the mix. I really do wish that Earthside would just pick a singer and have a singer go with them so they don't have to do the TV thing. I'm hoping by the next time I see them in Pittsburgh, because that's the closest city, which is about 3 hours from here. Cleveland's about 2.5, so it's not that much farther than Cleveland. I'm hoping that when I see them with Caligula's Horse that they do have a singer and not this TV thing. But if they do, I'm probably there more to see Caligula's Horse anyway. But I am excited. I cannot wait. So let's get into Michael's set, and we have a good week ahead of us, I think, and just a couple weeks off. We have the holidays starting with Thanksgiving, and then Christmas is in about a month and a half, which is crazy how fast is timing. The fall is moving quickly, and this has been an amazing fall here in Ohio, and I'm not complaining about the weather. You've noticed I haven't complained? I've actually been saying a lot of good things about it. Let's get into this set for Michael. Let's see what he's got for us. What did I do wrong? Okay, here we go. Wow, you got a lot of writing here, Michael. This might take an hour just for the writing. All right, he says, hi, everyone. Cap, hope everything is well. I put together a set list that's much different than my usual. Okay, maybe it isn't Rush, and maybe it isn't Mark Bonilla or Steve Vai. Well, maybe not that much different. Okay, maybe it is those. But nonetheless, when I was just starting to listen to music on the radio in the late 60s and 70s, how old were you in the late 60s? Were you like 60 then? I'm just kidding, Michael. I would like a lot of the songs that were popular and even went out and bought the 45s of a bunch. What is that? I was playing trombone in the middle school jazz band when the teacher gave us a chart called All Is Well by the band Chicago. I know Chicago's 80s stuff anyway. Everyone was excited to play it, except I never heard of the song or the band Another kid told me I had to check them out, and so I did, and it began a love affair with the band that I still have today. So it sounds like we're going to be listening to some Chicago. Now, if any of you know Chicago, it's likely the crappy pop stuff they did. Hey, with Peter Cetera singing some ballad. That's not crappy stuff, dude. It was in Karate Kid. How dare you say such a thing? I love that stuff. Well, when Chicago first started, they were a very experimental band that I considered progressive. I usually define progressive rock as songs with an unusual meter and meter changes, unusual song formats, and unusual chord progressions that were just noticeably different than the usual pop or rock and roll stuff out there. Now, you're going to have a problem with Para because Para's all serious about what you call progressive music because we got to make sure it's defined the way Para says it should be. Just give me some shit, Para, but I'm right still. And I actually think that Michael has a good way of defining progressive rock too. So I think you're on the losing end here. You just have to define it two different ways like I do. All right, Thank You Scientist reminds me of a modern day version of Chicago, which kind of tells me it has a lot of jazzy to it, which you said you discovered them in jazz band. So I'm glad to see there is still some rock out there that is not only proggy but can switch into jazz mode as well. I'll explain more as I do each song, and other than one tune, this will be an all Chicago set. Okay, so it's an all Chicago set except for one song. They're older, more experimental prog stuff. So let's get started. Dude, I'm just going to tell you right now, you have a book written here. We're going to spend 20 minutes just reading your stuff. So this first song, another paragraph, Introduction by Chicago. This was written by the guitarist Terry Kath, I think is how you say it, a very underrated player even back then. It literally was the first song on their first album and introduces you to the band and all the different styles they would play. You have an opening verse, then a proggy section going into Jimmy Pankow's trombone solo. As a trombone player in school, I loved this guy. Never dreamed a trombone could be in a rock band. Lee Longnan's trumpet solo is next, followed by Terry Kath's guitar solo. Then the horn. Dude, are you just going to give us a play-by-play of the song? We don't need to listen to it because you're writing about it. Verse and out. Peter Cetera, known more for his singing, was actually an excellent bass player. And if you listen to what he does here, you won't be disappointed. Now we got 6 minutes and 34 seconds of the song. Let's get into it. Ooh, sounds like Earth, Wind & Fire a little bit with some jazz. Now I gotta go back and read all your comments because I missed it because I'm reading a freaking book. I like this. Ooh, this has definitely got like a funk sound more than anything. This is very much Earth, Wind & Fire to me. And I love it. Ooh, double time. Okay, Arrow. I'm hoping Earthside continues with good music and good vocals, because that's what I love about them. Stay overnight? Might do that. Except it's on a Wednesday. Yep, double time. Transatlantic, I look like a Daria. That's a bad thing for me, but a good thing for all of you. This is interesting. Interesting section here. It's almost like a jam band situation right now. More volume, I just got to that. How's that? Is that better? Yeah, to me this is very Earth, Wind & Fire, kind of R&B 70s. I like it. I was like, is that the end? Yeah, I think the trumpets with Deer Hunter definitely gives it a, but not this kind of R&B 70s funky style. This has definitely got some funkiness to it more than just outright jazz, which is why I like it. Especially that doo 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 doo. Whoa, nice little transition there to slow that tempo down. Part where you are trying to make sure you don't release in your sexual stimulation. You're trying to hold back. Ooh, and you got that bass in the background. It's like do 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 do. Yeah, there's a lot of Earth, Wind & Fire songs that sound like this, that have like the horns taking over, and then they have like their straight funk, we're gonna rip your shit with Garibaldi on his drum. The most non-white drummer I've ever seen that looks white as hell, and even the way he plays. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Oh, this isn't the baby making section, that's coming. This is like the, I don't want to blow my load too soon. Okay, see, now we're starting to get into the, okay, I'm ready to go. You're wrong, Scott. You're a rabbit, so you blow too early. That section right there was the, like using your Kegel exercises to make sure you don't rock it out. Man, I'm digging this. Depending on how long it goes, because it's almost getting into the jam bandy sound, which I get a little bored with jam bandy stuff. Nice. Here's that solo section Mike was referring to. Dude, that bass line is just, I think the bass line is my favorite part about this style of music in this time period and in this song. Nice building here. I don't know how long this song is, but I hope it ends soon. Nice. Nice.
Now we put through the changes and turned around the mood.
Turn around the mood.
We hope it's slightly different.
Man, this definitely does not sound like 80s Chicago. 80s Chicago with Peter Cetera is very different than this. And I still like that style too. Oh, that was an interesting chord build. Is that it? All right, so we made it through. I definitely dig this kind of music. I've told you guys Tower of Power is probably my favorite kind of 70s funk and soul. Obviously, Earth, Wind, and Fire, some I really love that as well. So I love this kind of stuff. The only thing I would say about this song is, and probably songs in this style as well, sometimes I think they can get too jammy. And though if I were a player in the band, I would love it because you're just kind of jamming and feeling the feels. I get a little bored with jam band sounds, which is why I could never get into Phish, PH, Phish. I have a friend in Denver who just goes to every Phish concert, kind of like the Grateful Dead kind of thing for them. And I just get too bored with just listening to the jam band stuff. It just kind of gets too redundant in its own sort of way. That song was starting to get there, but it stopped, so I'm happy about that. I would have to see again if I would put it on a playlist. We'll see how it compares to the other songs. I would prefer if that song was more like 4 minutes. If that song was like 4 minutes, I probably for sure would put that on a playlist. But let's check out these other Chicago songs that we have. He says, All Is Well by Chicago is number 2. This was the song mentioned earlier in his jazz band in middle school that he listened to or was told to play. It got a decent amount of radio play, but when you listen to what's going on and the unusual chord changes, try to pick those out in the chat, what you mean by unusual chord changes. You can see it's not ordinary pop. This song shows off the band's excellent group vocals, on par with Yes at the time, in my opinion. Terry Kath, the guitarist, Robert Lamb, the keyboardist, and Peter Cetera on bass, all contributed vocals on most songs, which is why you got this really cool like harmonies going on. He says the song is in 6/4, shifting to 4/4 at some parts. Good, this is only 3 minutes and 50 seconds. I might like this one better, depending. Here we go. I feel like this should be like the theme song for like Archie Bunker.
All is well again.
Nice.
I think I'm gonna be alright.
I feel like Mr. Bungle and stuff like that kind of gets its inspiration from this kind of stuff. I can hear Mr. Bungle and stuff in this.
Loving you was sad.
What's up, Pyramid? Ooh, that was an interesting chord. Easy to go flat on that one if you were singing that live. Peter Cetera on bass is the shit. Ooh.
I was fooling myself, but now I'll take a bow, 'cause I'm free and easy. Free and easy.
I like that. I'm digging this section a lot. More cowbell. Peter Cetera, his bass lines are just heavenly. I wonder if a lot of it's improvised too, because a lot of these bass players and a lot of this music is like the Hoodoo Soul Band that I told you or you guys have seen on my Instagram that I play on Sundays. They cover a lot of this style of music. And the bass parts, I'm just like, a lot of it I think they just fuck around and it just sounds so good.
I'm feeling better. There was a time
Ooh, I like this part.
I thought I was fooling myself, but now
I also feel like I hear, oh, what the heck? I did not mean to do that. I'm gonna go, sorry. Let me get to the end. Sorry about that. I really didn't mean to hit that. I meant to push the volume up. Can't hurt to hear it again. I also hear Ben Folds a little bit in this. Not the singing, I mean, not the tone is different, but like some of the lines and some of the melodies chosen in the, by the, yeah, and the melody is very kind of Ben Foldsy to me. Come on, Adrian. Use the Kegel exercises. Use the Kegel. I like that. Whoa, 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 whoa. I think that's the end, right? Maybe not. Oh, okay. I was like, is it going to go into something else? Okay. So I'm going to say 2 and then 1, mostly because it's shorter, and I did like some of the chord changes and voice parts a little bit more. I did feel like it had a little more groove to it as well. So 2-1 for me, and that song will go on a playlist. Definitely dug it. Sorry for the mishap and pushing the wrong button. I was trying to get the volume to go a little bit higher, but let's get on to number 3 because I'm guessing it's going to be in the same vein or have very similar sound to this. This is a song for Richard and his friends. That sounds kind of familiar. Maybe I do know this song. It's by Chicago. This was off their Live from Carnegie Hall album. It was a protest song against Richard Nixon around the time Watergate was just breaking. Early on, you hear ad-lib war songs with the guitar and keyboard mimicking machine guns and dive bombers. Interesting. It then breaks into a very cool bluesy shuffle type of song. Again, check out Peter Cetera's bass part. I'm sure I'm not going to miss it. Robert Lahm is on vocals and Terry Kath has a guitar solo that I always really liked. This is a 7-minute banger. Here we go.
We've been recording this thing at Carnegie Hall all this week. And, gee, you may be pop stars, each and every one of you. But, whatever that is. Here's a brand new song that we just started doing. And it's about, it's kind of a wishful thought about wishing President Nixon would quit.
Interesting. When I was running this morning, there was a documentary on Ronald Reagan getting shot by Hinckley, is his name? Fascinating. There's so much I didn't know about that. That was fascinating. Yeah, this does sound very Beatle-ish. Oh. Yeah, that sounded like it was supposed to mess up. Yeah. I'm telling you, there's a lot. When I hear this, I'm like, is this Mr. Bungle? It's got like, ooh, hear those chords? The quirky side of Chicago here. Sasha, you are the most unbelievable dude ever. Just when I'm like, I know Sasha would never like this shit, you say this is fun. I get you, dude. You are an enigma, Sasha. Capital E. So is this why this song is 7 minutes? Because it's just a bunch of nonsense? Sasha, do you like quirkiness in your women too? Or men? I want to assume you like women, but in the attraction of whatever you are attracted to. Just don't say animals. So far, we haven't had nothing but Tool-style nonsense. Do we have an actual song in this song? Yeah, seriously, Adrian. Okay. There's that little shuffle he was talking about. Sounds very low. I know it sounds like a live version, but man, it's really low. Oh, speaking of furries, Arrow, last weekend in Columbus they had a furry convention at the convention center. I was like, oh, look at all the furries walking around. I definitely would like to see them use the trapdoors and hump each other, like they did in MTV's True Life back in the early 2000s. Sasha with the secrets. The Sasha Secret Man. Hey now.
We're so tired of the things that you say.
Yeah, I was dressed as the Buckeye furry. Dream, Brutus the Buckeye. That's what I was. No, Scott K. If anything, I'm a horse because I'm hung that one. I love that. I feel like the singing is a little very Jesus Christ Superstar. I'm definitely gonna say already that I like 3 least, and funny that Michael likes it the best. Adrian. Yeah, mini horse. Still pretty big. And I have to say, Michael, I really do appreciate bringing a different style of music to the channel for once. This is definitely more in the soul, funk, jazzy, whatever kind of style, which rarely hits the airwaves here on this channel. So really digging that little change up we have here. Calling yourself a sloth. Alright, so everybody in the chat, after you like this video, tell us what your furry costume would be. I just love the walking bass line that Peter's doing. Such a bad dream! Whoa! Nice little switch there. Very Mr. Bungle, or Mr. Bungle is very much like this. Lazy. Was that it? That was a quick 7 minutes, mostly because I think the first like 2 minutes of it was like nothing. All right, so that is song number 3. Yeah, that's going to stick with me as the least favorite of the 3 so far. I probably wouldn't put that on a playlist, mostly because there's a lot of nonsense for the first couple minutes, which I get that from an artist viewpoint, but from a listener's viewpoint, it's just wasted time for me. So let's get into number 4. Number 4 is the one song that is not Chicago on this playlist. This is God Bless the Child is the name of the song by Blood, Sweat, and Tears. A teacher recommended this to me around my middle school time as well, since they were a lot like Chicago. Their most famous tune was likely Spinning Wheel, which some of you may have heard on the radio, still played on a classic rock station sometimes. David Clayton Thomas was the lead singer on this tune, which is an old blues spiritual song that they covered in their own way. Lou Soloff does the trumpet solo, but I don't remember the names of the other guys. BS&T, Blood, Sweat, and Tears, was changing personnel a lot. The song breaks into a cool jazz section in the middle with trombone, trumpet, and sax solos. So obviously, Michael, you can tell us in the chat, this is a 6-minute song. Obviously, your dad played piano. You have like that background in you, of course. Out of all the instruments, what do you prefer? Now, I'm going to ask you to answer this in 2 ways. What do you prefer to play? And then what do you prefer as just like, that is the coolest instrument? Like, yeah, like, and they can be the same, but they might be different, which is why I'm asking you to distinguish that. All right, so here we go. Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Boom. Sounds like a Christmas song. Oh. Okay, this has got some nice groove to it. Ooh. It's a tight snare.
Them that Scott shall get.
Ooh, so you're best on bass. Okay.
So the Bible says,
The Bible
and
says.
it still is new.
The Bible says that Scott K is a heathen.
Papa may have.
Joys of listening. I definitely don't like listening to piano or violin that much. I get bored. Guitar for sure.
Got his own.
Ooh. That was a nice little fill there by the drums.
And the strong seem to get more. While the weak
Okay, so far this is like, this is close to number 1 or number 2. Let's see.
ever make the grave.
I like his voice too. Ever made.
His mama may have.
I'm telling you, some of these songs I'm gonna go tell the Hoodoo Soul Band here in Columbus to try to cover.
God bless the child that's got his own.
Hey, where's Ivanator at, Jason?
Got his own.
Got his own. Ba, ba, brr, brr, ba.
And when you got money,
Now that was an interesting switch.
you got lots of friends.
Oh, this kind of sounds like something that was on
The crowding round
Pump Up the
your
Volume
door.
movie in the 90s.
When the money is gone and all your
Work
spend
size.
remains, they won't be round anymore. No, no, no. And rich
Ooh, that was nice.
relations may give you a crust of bread and such. You can help yourself, but don't take too much.
I still don't like this as much as 2, but I'm gonna put it second.
And Papa may have. But God bless the child that's got his own. That's got his own.
We got a little Latin vibe here. Oh. Yep. Interesting Latin vibe switch. Let's do a little bit of salsa. Scott K, I know you have 2 maracas. Ooh, nice. Nice. That's the jazz section he was talking about. Okay, this is getting a little bit better. Maybe it's back in the running. Ooh. That sounded like a miss on the trumpet. Some of these,
And when you got money,
ooh, I love how I just switched back into this.
friends,
Oh!
they're crowding round your door. But wait a minute, children,
Ooh.
when the money's gone,
That was a great drum fill to go into this next part. Yeah, this song was going on the playlist too.
around anymore.
Anymore, yeah.
And rich relations
Oh.
may give you
Like it.
crust of bread and such.
Yeah, this is growing. I don't know. This might take over number 1 or number 2 for me.
But don't take too much.
Yeah, this last part especially is just fucking sick.
And Papa may have. But God bless the child who can stand up and say,
Say.
I got my own.
Those horns and the chords sound very Christmassy.
Every child's got to have his own.
Yeah, I'm switching that. I'm sorry, y'all. That is going to be my number 1. I think from the last like 2 minutes of the song, switched it up for me. 2 or 3 minutes of the song were just totally sick and groovy. Love it. So 4 and 2 will go on a playlist for me so far. That brings us to our last song of the set. But before we do that, one thing I did want to say is number 1. Somehow, even though I showed on Discord that I disputed Sasha's set for Lost Horizon, is that what it is? They came back and said, nope, copyright is going to be held up. Sorry. And I was like, stupid. But somehow it's not blocked anymore because Sasha showed it. So I think that set, which was Symphony X, and then Lost Horizon for the rest of the set, is back up on the channel. That's number 1. Number 2, we just had a new set turned in about, 10 minutes before the stream started from a new member, from a new subscriber. I always love, his name is Chris. He's left a couple comments on some videos. I always love it when we get new blood in here to throw in some maybe different songs or whatever their taste is, so we get a chance to have just some new people turning in sets. I'm always down for that. So his name is Chris. If you see him in the chat or whatever, if you see him on Discord, he says he's in the UK, so he probably knows Blimey Colin. And yeah, he turned in a set, so we will put that on the list. It'll probably be sometime in December for that. Okay, let's get on to number 5 and 5th and final song. He says this is called Fancy Colors by Chicago. He says simple tune with an unusual opening for a pop song, breaking into a I'm not so sure equals what to call it the style. It features their group, great group vocals again, Waltz Parazader, their sax, that's interesting. His name is, Walt. I thought for some reason I just saw Waltz, like there's a dance name, Walt. Okay, Walt, as in Breaking Bad, Walter White. Their sax player plays flute on this. Terry Kath rips off a pretty cool solo again at the end of this one. This is 5 minutes. He says, so that's it. I've been wondering how to squeeze in some Chicago stuff all along, but didn't seem to go with songs in my other sets. I figure if Colin play a whole speed metal set, I can do this. Exactly. So something different. If you don't like it, at least you've expanded your musical knowledge, although it's good stuff, even if it's not a genre that's not popular here. Very true. With the exception of the guitarist who couldn't read music, the rest of the band met as music majors in college. Okay. There's a good documentary on them called Now More Than Ever. All of them were very talented and well ahead of most musicians and bands at the time. Good night, y'all. And you know what? I've said this a million times, but I expect it not to happen that much. But it is always welcome to get different genres on here. Even though I hate K-pop, I would welcome K-pop to be on here. And just to get us in different modes sometimes. So this is a nice break from the usual. And I agree exactly with your sentiment. If people can play a whole album called Phantomus, then I'm sure this is fine. All right, so let's get into this last and final song called Fancy Colors. Interesting. Is this going to be 5 minutes of this? Okay, Mike. I like that. Ooh, I like the voices here. Recall. Ooh, I like that. Hey. Oh, now we're kind of in Barbados. I like that. Fancy colors. Fancy colors.
All we ever see, but when we're not at sea, we see things so very bright at the sea.
Ooh, I like that. I guess would that be to consider the chorus? All I can do. I love how the bass joined in. It was like, ooh. I'm going to put this one in the middle unless it changes. Ooh, that was a cool little. It's a very Take Six Manhattan Transfer kind of move. Very hard to do, to have like different voice parts all modulating or whatever at the same time and keep it in on pitch. Yeah, this solo sounds very drug induced. Yeah, that snare sounds very better. Sounds like a horn about when you're about to get hit by a train. Scott. I wonder why they chose to do that. What's that supposed to communicate? Fancy colors? And that wraps us up. Okay, yeah, I'm going to put that one right in the middle. That ending, I will say, is a little weird. I wonder what it means. Can somebody explain it, Michael, since you know them? What was the purpose of that? Adrian puts this last. I'm going to put it right in the middle because I did like the chord, the fancy colors. Cool. But not as good as the 4 and 2. So therefore, I'm definitely putting 4 and 2 on a playlist. 5, maybe, if I can erase that last. Yeah, but other than that, that song was pretty good, I thought. Just not as good as 4 and 2. So that wraps us up. Michael, once again, thank you for something different. Just to say who's up on the chopping block. Next Saturday is Sasha and Ryan's full set, as they are full set winners from the Old or New set number 7. Nice job. We will have those coming at you. And then next Monday, a week from today, is going to be Bryce Tax. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 songs on his set. So that's going to be a banger. And then the Saturday on December 2nd, after Thanksgiving, we have the Old or New set winners, Michael, Progper, Scott K, Atharva, and Ivy. I still have not gotten Progper or Atharva's songs in. Everybody else has turned in their song for that set. And then probably either that Monday or the Saturday after that will be Chris's, our new subs set that he has turned in. And I'm sure at some point in the middle of this, I'll try to get to Para's Caligula's Horse song as maybe a one-off. I don't know. Unless you guys all want to put together another hodgepodge, and we'll get that in there sometime. Maybe the Monday after December, so December 4th, I guess, if you guys want to do that. So I do know that Colin said he'd be up for that, and I think Ryan or someone else said they'd be up for, maybe Scott K said that. But anyway, you guys have a great night, have a great week, and we will see you guys soon. If you're going to do a hodgepodge to get the Caligula's Horse song in, you got to do it quickly so that we can get that scheduled. All right, peace out. Have a great week. We will see you guys on Saturday.